Hello and welcome to the TMZ Podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton.
I'm Derek Kaufman, or as we were just saying, my nickname, Skid Rock.
Skid Rock.
Yeah, you like that? You want to stick with Lothario Lawyer, or can
Lothario Lawyer is better. Why do we call you Skid Rock?
Because of what we were talking about yesterday. Everyone's pooped their pants once or twice. And if you
do
do it more than once or twice, you get a nickname.
Everybody out there listening live is turning off now. Skid Rock. It's not what I need on my Friday morning. Happy Valentine's Day.
Same to you, man. Did you do well? Did you make reservations? Did you do the chocolates? Are you ready?
I did a pre-Valentine's. I did it yesterday just so I feel like if I waited today, my wife already thought I wasn't going to do anything and that I was terrible. So I was just like, let's just get out of the way Thursday so there's none of that awkwardness and I didn't do much, but it just showed that
Cool. My wife knows I didn't do anything. And I'm scrambling.
Right.
She got me something, and she's like, "Your gift's in the mail." And then I got a cute little gift. I, of course, have to get a more expensive one. Anyway, I don't want to belabor this. Sorry.
Is she super into Skid Rock on Valentine's Day?
Wicca.
Does everybody get laid on Valentine's Day? Are we all going to get laid today?
I can tell you honestly, not everyone. Not everyone.
Right. How do I segue that into this?
We're talking about love is in the air, love's out of the air.
Love's in the air, out of the air. I don't know where in the air the love is because Kanye and Bianca, it's like, are they together? Aren't they together? They're split up yesterday apparently, but now they've said that we're not split up. I don't know what to think. We'll talk about that. Drake is referring to his diss battle with Kendrick. He released a new album overnight, and one of the songs called Gimme a Hug refers to the infamous beef.
Mm-hmm.
We'll finally talk about Mr. D.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson.
I got a lot in common, yeah.
You and him got a lot in common because he posed in his underwear.
That's right.
And, left little to the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, he's got rid of all of his tats.
Cleaned up. We're going to talk about whether that's a good move.
And why. And what is why. He's only 20-something, isn't he? He's cleaning up all his tats from all of his life. Anyway, to begin with, also leave your comments. Leave your comments. It's almost a running bit that I forget to say this every show.
Yeah, we've given you a lot to chew on with Skid Rock.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, so comment whatever you want.
Yeah, we're live. Comment whatever you want. Okay, Kanye West and Bianca Censori, are they Splitsville? Aren't they Splitsville? Because yesterday morning, let's shout out, Daily Mail did a story saying they're Splitsville, they got sources. We followed up, citing Daily Mail and doubling down, kind of confirming what they had said. Hours later, or was it under hours? It was very soon after that, their reps released a statement saying, they're still together. They're excited to, they're in LA together. All is fine.
Cloud of confusion. Things move quickly in Kanye's world. There's been rumblings of trouble in paradise before with them, right? When she went to Australia and separated from him for a while he was in Japan. Do you remember that whole saga?
And these sort of stories were emerging then as well before we saw them together.
And I think they had the same kind of beats, talking to divorce attorneys. She's had enough. He's too volatile. Now, for some reason, I believe this a little bit more because at some point he's testing the limits of marital vows, right? When you are, driving people to a website that's selling a swastika T-shirt, that's going to rub off on your spouse, and she may not want to be part of that anymore. Although he's made vicious comments in the past. I mean, this is more of the same, but he's merchandising swastikas now. Maybe
but
that's a step too far?
Is it the merchandise that led to the breakup? Because the I'm a Nazi didn't, and he said DEFCON on Jews. Was that before they were together or during the? I mean, it's
it's definitely been during, right? I mean, she has been party to a lot of it. And, I think of her as we all know Hitler's wife, Eva Braun. She's a known person because she was with Hitler, right? And if you have those kind of noxious views, it's unavoidable that some of it will rub off on you because you love this guy. You make love to him. These views are so toxic that you wonder, how could a person even sort of be next to you?
I don't know. I don't think it rubs off on Bianca at all.
Oh, you think she's squeaky clean?
I think she's squeaky clean, and I don't have a good reason for that. I don't know why I don't view her. Maybe it's because we're both Australians. Do you view her as somewhat of an anti-Semite, or at least anti-Semite adjacent because she's with Kanye?
I view her as complicit with this whole spectacle.
Does it make you view her negatively though, or do you kind of go,
Depends what she's wearing. Yeah. But no, I think it's pretty gross. I think what's more gross between them is him parading her around, her doing the whole not talking, taking off her clothes at the Grammys. I find that sort of disturbing to treat sort of a woman that way. I know she has agency. I just find the spectacle of it kind of gross.
If I'm
being honest,
if she was talking about it and saying everything's a-okay, like I love doing this, that'd be one thing. But
Yes.
she's not talking about it. Kanye West is posting stuff on Instagram like the definition of what was it, consent?
yes,
Or like it's just like coercion.
coercion. Yeah.
The definition of coercion. Like I don't know what Bianca thinks or what she does, or I don't know if they're still together or they're not.
Is he doing performance art at some point?
Yes.
He's just such an exquisite troll. He's just trying to get a reaction. I do think the stuff, the anti-Semitic stuff, is troubling because it awakens real anti-Semitism. So I
Yes.
have problems with that as performance art in and of itself. But most of it, he's just a provocateur at this point. It's kind of boring, to be honest with you. The most exciting thing he's done is Bianca. So if he drives her away, we're left with just his rantings every couple months when he's on a sort of manic episode.
Right.
It's not that fun anymore.
Do you think there's a theory that, everything to do with Bianca is an attempt to get at Kim? An attempt to piss off Kim, annoy Kim. They kind of the same sort of body shape. He's doing all these.
You think he's that petty and small man that he's not over Kim Kardashian?
What do you think?
Yeah, I do think a lot of his acting out is based on when he gets upset, and I think when you're co-parenting, I imagine he's probably upset a lot. And there's a guy who externalizes his feelings. So one little, North should be here, and North stays with her, or she's like, Kanye, she's not going with you. I bet he acts out.
Yeah.
So I do think that she probably triggers him, and you can't avoid it, right? They have young children. That's going to be for the next,
Forever.
15 years of their life at least, until the kids are adults. But yeah, forever.
Well, time will tell if they're still together or not. I mean, God knows with these two. I think Kanye plants stories about himself that are true, some that are not true. I mean, I think he wants you to be confused when you look at him, and I am.
Let me ask you a question. One more question, then we can move on. But will he drift into obscurity because he's so outlandish now? Like,
No.
Is there a chance he becomes marginalized, or he's, I used to think this about like Justin Bieber. He was getting crazy. He was sort of, the coverage of him was omnipresent, and now it's just like not there anymore.
But if he
got married,
if he did anything,
if he did this kind of stuff, we'd cover him.
or anything, we're not covering him because he's not doing anything intentionally.
Right.
Kanye,
He's too famous to fail.
say what you will about Kanye and his horrible, vile views. He may be the best in the world at getting and maintaining attention.
Yes.
And so I think he will continue to get and maintain attention.
Although the best weapon against those type of people is to just choke the oxygen off, choke the coverage off. I mean, we're a news organization. We have to follow where the stories are, but you really can beat a dragon like that by just looking away.
Okay, let's look away. Let's look away after this 8-minute segment on him.
That we led the show with.
Led the
So we're
show.
not...
So Drake, he's responding to Kendrick's rap beef in a new song called Gimme a Hug. Admittedly, it's not that good or not that, I don't know.
Talk about someone who needs to
Dissy.
just step away for a little while. He's still trying. The lyrics in this are pathetic.
Tell me the lyrics. You can do it in a little rap sort of beat poem.
So he does a little, Drake elimination, fake intimidation, take a minute, take a deep breath, have a little bit of patience. Funny how it's only, and then, I'm not going to finish the rest of it, but it's like he's...
There's some B words, some N words.
There's some stuff waiting on the boy's obituary. He's saying you're dancing on my grave because when I watch...
Let's
play a little bit. That's easier.
You don't have to say it.
Funny how it's only bitch niggas that are waiting on the boy's obituary. Cause if I die, it's these niggas that become the sole beneficiary. Fuck all red beef, I'm trying to get the party lit.
Okay.
This sounds sad, flailing,
I'm trying to
pathetic.
get the party lit. It's just like,
He's also now in his mid to late 30s. You're not lit in any parties anymore,
Right.
bro. We've moved on. There are younger people in the game. This is no fault of your own. Serena Williams danced on your grave at the Super Bowl,
Yes.
man. It's kind of over. Now, he's reached levels of success you and I could only possibly dream of. You can't take that away from Drake. It happened, but he's got to step away a bit. This is sad.
I mean, he's still going to get those Spotify monthly. I'm always surprised when the Spotify listeners come out and Drake's always at the top. And I'm like, where are the Drake fans? Because I don't see them day to day. Maybe they're like the silent majority who listen to Drake secretly but don't admit it. Because I don't see the Drake fans out there.
The songs sound sort of similar to Drake music. So if you still like that sound, it hasn't really evolved in any meaningful way. It sounds just like a Drake song. It's okay. I would play it. But now what he represents is like kind of sad.
Yes.
On the other side, it's wild to me that Kendrick has become as big as Kendrick is because he's sort of artsy. You know, I like the Super Bowl show, but I was like, this is kind of like performance art. You know, I'm not sure this is as broadly appealing as a Super Bowl show, but the numbers back it up. People watched it. The world has sort of like embraced Kendrick so broadly, and the mainstream guy, Drake, is now the marginal guy. It's a wild transformation.
Okay, on to our final story of the week. Pete Davidson has revealed his body, and it is pretty much tatless. Well, he's getting them removed. Apparently, he's halfway through the process of getting all of his tattoos removed. And you'll remember, like, he had tats everywhere. So it's very interesting what this signals about a person, that they would be Mr. Tat, and then they'd just decide one day in their 20s, I think he's in his 20s, is he? Or early 30s?
I think he's late 20s or early 30s.
That, like, he decided to have a complete change of his image.
I mean, the only thing you can point to is sort of maturity. He's added actually a little bit of weight. Maybe his health is a little more in order, and he doesn't want to walk around like a canvas anymore. I think it's a little bit of a misstep. Maybe he looks at guys like Travis Barker, who are covered in tats, and they're now middle-aged men, as a bit clownish. I don't know. I'm putting words in his mouth, but he must look at that as, that's for your 20s, and I want to take this art off, and now the technology is good enough that you can remove these things, so I'm going to remove them. What do you think he thinks of guys who keep it going into their like middle age? Probably.
But I mean, that's the status quo. Like, he's the only one I've ever known, especially a celebrity, who's decided to get all of them removed for some reason. Like, you know, Machine Gun Kelly.
Yep.
He changes it by like he gets more tats. He fills it in. Like, getting them all removed. I haven't seen that before. Pete is someone who has mental health issues that he's talked about a lot. He's been to rehab a lot. I kind of feel like this is like trying to give himself a fresh start.
Yeah, but it's so central to his identity. I think he does want this fresh start. I don't know how to say this delicately. He's the tatted up, skinny guy who dates a lot of women and is known to have a big honker, right? I mean, that is his core sort of what he means in pop culture. He's removing one pillar of that to do what? Try to become a leading man? He doesn't have Brad Pitt good looks. That's not who Pete Davidson is. I'm not sort of calling him ugly, but he looks like a sort of Gen Z, right? That's the Pete Davidson brand. Now he's trying to look like leading man. It's an odd move. If I were his manager, I'd be like, this is what made you special, was kind of that whole essence. Now you're gonna be like, not that special. You're not that good looking. You're just kind of tall. But
I mean, he does have that honker still.
You can't take away that. He's not gonna not gonna remove that, huh?
No, that would be a crime against humanity. Imagine scaling back that. I mean, could you imagine?
Once you have that rep, I mean, Tommy Lee has paid his bills on that reputation for decades.
You, on the other hand, but similarly, kind of pay your bills on the opposite, because you talk about it quite a lot, and this is your job. Like, your tiny one has like kind of paid put food on your table.
Alleged.
Although you alleged it.
I'm gonna clarify this for one time because I have a little bit of runway. What I did was I said that it's amazing, to be in a room full of such big ones. Whenever you talk about it, you always happen to be in a room full of guys who are like, mine's big, mine's big. Well, that's not what the averages say. So goddamn it, someone's dragging it down.
Oh my God. All right. Well, maybe yours is average size. Happy Valentine's. All right. I'm going to read out some of your comments now. CA says, run, Bianca, run. I think at some stage she will, and I'm so interested to see what she's really like. You know what I mean?
It sounds like she's starting to run, although you're right. You can never know what's true, because maybe they'll just be out on the next red carpet naked again, so who knows?
Tasha Moody says, the fact is that Bianca knew exactly who she was marrying, so yeah, she's complicit.
This is the key to me. This is the key. When she got with him, he had already had some of these episodes.
Yes.
And so that's why I don't give her a free pass.
Fair enough. Bezo Lego says, Kanye music is still killing it. So will Drake's. Nobody gives a fuck. Drake is too famous. Drake will always be famous. His songs will always be popular. But if you've been to the top of the mountain and then you start walking down the mountain, even if you've only walked a short way down, it sucks.
Yes. And I'm not sure he's walking down the mountain. He has been pushed and is sort of sliding. So it's a little harsher of a fall.
Lisa says Kendrick is a genius. Drake is a dud. Preach.
We've been saying this for a long time. I think Kendrick is actually a genius. He's always been respected by, real hip hop, lovers, and Drake sort of isn't and sort of is in some ways, but it's just now here. It's thundered home.
Tiffane on Pete Davidson's tattoo say his tattoos look like shit. Hello. That's why he's got rid of them. Duh, I would too. He had to be stupid drunk to get any of those. Well, I mean,
But
I take offense to that,
I
actually.
know.
Because I got some like dumb tattoos that I've never got rid of. And I actually think that Pete Davidson's tattoos look great.
And you've always said the tattoos you keep because they tell the story
It's
of your
memory.
life. It's
It's
the
memory.
memory. Like, yes, it looks silly. You don't really want that taco on your foot, but it's a memory. It's a core
Totally.
memory.
Totally.
I actually respect that. It is sort of a permanent etching of how stupid you've behaved. In your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like memento. It's
Yeah,
my
I like it.
memento. Deb says, Happy Valentine's Day, Charlie.
Hmm.
I love you, and yes, I'm getting laid. Deb,
Go
good
for it.
you,
Yeah,
Deb.
get it, Deb. Get it, Deb.
That makes at least one of us. That's fantastic. Gemini says, oh my God, a TMZ podcast? Where have I been?
Oh, welcome. We've been around for years.
Yes, but we're live only for the past few months, maybe?
Yeah, yeah.
Live every day around 7:30 unless we're really late. And finally, Gary says, shout out to Mary,
Hey, Mayor.
Derek's long-suffering wife, suffering for being with Derek for years.
I like how you specifically laid out exactly what the suffering
Yeah,
is. No,
like
no
you
other,
couldn't tell.
no other cause of the suffering other than being with me.
Mary might be listening to this now. Give her a nice little Valentine's Day shout out. I'll clip it.
Yeah.
I'll DM her. I'll say, look how nice your hubby has been. Maybe it's time for a little loving tonight.
Baby, I love you. I care for you. And I'm going to give Skid Rock going to be all over you tonight.
There'll be different types of skits tonight, baby. All right.
All right.
Thank you, Derek.
It was fun.
That
Happy
was fun.
Valentine's Day, everyone.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, no, actually, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.